Hello, welcome to This Week in Japan. I'm the Gaijin John.
I'm the Geek Tom.
And welcome to the podcast where we bring you everything that has happened in Japan in 1 week, in half an hour. Our British voices. I'm here on location, in the Japan as we say. However, Thomas is not. We're not doing everything, because, a lot of the news is sad. And we're recording this on a Monday, so how sad we can be. Please choose your level of sadness.
Man, it's November. I've just had to deal with the beginnings of lockdown in the UK. A day away from a major international event. I'm just generally zonked out. I'm gonna put it mildly.
Let's talk about Japanese rubbish then. Woo, woo, woo.
Let's not talk about any of that. Let's distract ourselves for half an hour, please.
First of all, please don't leave. We're going to do some Kimetsu no Yaiba stuff, just because...
We know it's what you're here for!
Which we know it's what makes you leave. But the thing is, it's just everything. It's everything at the moment, guys. Like, you literally can't avoid it. Everything is Kimetsu no Yaiba themed. Then there is a really depressing snack break, which we recorded just before this, because... Oh dear.
Fantastic time. Everyone enjoyed it.
I have not been this sad by a snack break in a while. When was I the last this sad at a snack break?
I don't know. You alternate weeks on whether you've got a miserable snack break or not. But this one was, this one took the cake. Only it wasn't cake, which was the problem.
I'm glad it wasn't cake because it was from Burger King, but still.
Fair.
Well, so Thomas, I don't know if you know, but things have been happening back in the old UK.
Have they? That doesn't seem right. I'm looking right at my window and there's nothing out there. That doesn't make any sense. You're lying to me, John.
Well, the thing is, there's some racism about, Thomas.
No.
Sorry, I should be more specific. This is particularly baking racism, the kind of racism that I'm here to fight against.
Honestly, the worst kind. Absolutely appalling. We will not stand for that type of behaviour.
Well, this is the thing. Great British Bake Off, which was a national standard until it got sold to Channel 4, last week they did a Japan week.
Which should be perfect for us, right, John?
Imagine all the ways that can go wrong.
I don't know what you're talking about. That sounds like a perfect blend of cultures right there. I'm sure the Channel 4 staff handled that perfectly.
We'll get to that later, shall we, guys? Also, this isn't going to be a white man complains kind of... I used where I live for an actual thing, and I talked to Japanese people about it. So, I am just relaying this to you. But first, please don't leave. Kimetsu no Yaiba!
Woo! Choo-choo! All aboard the Kimetsu no Yaiba Mugen train.
The Mugen train. Mugen, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, is Japanese for infinity. So yes, this is going to go on forever.
Oh boy, it certainly feels like that. But it's only been 2 weeks.
Yep, and after those 2 weeks, Kimetsu no Yaiba is at 15.79 billion yen. It is currently
Lots of money.
It is currently the 10th highest selling film in Japan of all time. It's just beaten Avatar.
Congratulations.
That's just continuing making money and is everywhere. But the thing is, you know what I was thinking when I was watching Demon Slayer, Thomas? Well, I haven't seen it yet, but when everyone talks to me about it, do you know what this train is missing?
I hope not missing many things. I think a train needs all its parts in place to be able to work effectively. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of problems.
Yeah, Thomas, but what is this hype train missing?
Oh, I don't know then, John. It feels like it's doing pretty well on its own at the moment.
Well, what it's not missing is an actual train.
Oh boy, it's got trains. All aboard the actual Mugen train. Here we go.
For those who don't know, Demon Slayer is set 100 years ago. They got an actual steam locomotive from 100 years ago, and they put the kanji for Mugen or infinite on the front, so it is the actual Mugen train. Whilst on board, there will be original merchandise sold with commemorative goods presented to passengers, and everyone will be dressed up in traditional Taisho era, like, Japan. First thing, it left on Sunday, and 700 people came to see the train go from Kumamoto Station. And it goes from Kumamoto to Fukuoka Prefecture. It's a pretty short thing, because obviously it's a steam train.
It's not going very far.
Yeah, but however, this special edition train will only run 5 times on weekends and holidays until November 23rd. And Thomas, I know what you're thinking. Got to get to Japan to get on that train. All tickets are already sold out. All of them.
Of course. There go my winter plans.
Yep. However, I really hope this one 10-year-old elementary school pupil who was there when the train left, he was interviewed by Japan Today, and he was cosplaying as characters with his 7-year-old sister. And when asked what he thought of the train, he said, "Locomotives are cool."
Yes, little Timmy, locomotives are cool. Ah, what a sweet little child.
I really want that to be some kind of Japanese translation of "I like trains."
It's pretty close. I would say that you could probably finagle that.
Yeah.
So it is "I like trains."
Yep, locomotives are cool, everyone.
So yeah, there's a little Demon Slayer hype train in Japan now. Fantastic.
But yeah, this is the thing, that Demon Slayer is everywhere. So currently, my choice of drink right now is Demon Slayer canned coffee with different characters all on it. Ooh. The Hashira who loves everything. I can't remember what Hashira she is.
It's the love Hashira, isn't it? Or the heart Hashira?
Something like that. Yeah, so...
It's the girl with the pink hair.
The thing is, I was cycling home, and I passed a vending machine, and I thought I saw, something Kimetsu no Yaiba. I'm like, yeah.
Streak to a halt. No!
No, because it's Japan, I just waited until the next vending machine, which was 10 seconds away, to actually look at the vending machine. And on it, I saw canned coffee. But all these different canned coffees have different characters on it. So it's random of what character you get. Woo! Yeah.
Oh, goody. Gachapon coffee, my favourite.
This one, you can get canned coffee that's hot. It's fine. This one's cold, which I think is much better. But yeah, this is just a normal, like, cafe latte. They're usually quite sweet. But yeah, I got my Love Hashira coffee to power me through the podcast. Tastes like demon murder. Speaking of the murdering of my soul, it's time for the snack break.
Whoa. All the hype left for the station a long time ago, John. Oh god, what have you got for us today?
Well, I'll have to tell you by sending you back in time. Time travel noises. Hello, welcome to the snack break. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. To quote a legend.
A legend indeed.
The plan originally, listeners, was for me to try the Burger King Fake Burger. This was a burger that is only out for 2 weeks, and it is a French fry burger or a chip burger. It's basically chips in a bun with a small thing of special meat sauce on it.
It's a perfectly normal thing here in England, but people were freaking out over in Japan.
They've put chips in a burger. That's not where chips are supposed to be. This is mental.
I mean, they're not wrong. It's not where chips are supposed to be, but can we help it if it's just good?
I mean, who's going to introduce them next to crisps on white bread? With some butter.
Ooh, outrageous.
They had somehow run out. I don't know how you run out of chips for a chip burger.
That does seem like something you would have plentiful quantities of. They're not exactly difficult to find. They didn't even just give you like a handful of fries in a bun and just try to play it off. They were just like, nah, can't do it.
I assume that it's the special sauce that they don't have. It's set to be in Japan for 2 weeks, so by the time you'll hear this, it'll be like left for about 3 days. Though I wouldn't recommend it, because obviously you can't get it. because this is also recording a day, like the evening before a national holiday in Japan, and the only Burger King in my city does not have a fake burger. So, either they're really goddamn popular, or Burger King does not care. I feel like it might be a mix of the two. So I got something equally disappointing. This being a Chili King dog. A Chili King hot dog. Yes, you heard that right. From Burger King.
Oh. Fantastic. That's exactly what I came here for, John, is a Chili King hot dog. The finest of Japanese cuisine.
Because the thing is, I'd already eaten my dinner because I thought I was just going to have, like, some chips in a bun. But no. So they have some stupid dirty cheeseburger, whatever, and I looked at that and my stomach said, no, don't do that. Do something terrible instead. So...
You thought, I'm already here at the Burger King. I've already queued up to see if they have the chip burger. Might as well waste my time even more.
Exactly. So I was like, oh, why not? Because I need something for the snack break. I couldn't just not eat food during a podcast. What kind of mental case do you think I am?
We've set a standard for our listeners here, and we refuse to let you down, listeners. We're doing this for you.
Yeah, all 10 of you.
When I say we, I mean John.
Yeah.
I'm not getting involved in this matter.
So, apparently, Burger King do these hot dogs in the US. They started about 2 years ago.
Does not surprise me.
They don't do them in the UK. Apparently, though, this month or last month, they have just been discontinued in the US.
Oh.
So, whether that's... So they're that good, Thomas.
Huh.
Whether Japan will discontinue them, I don't know.
What you have to do to get food discontinued in the US is beyond me, quite frankly.
I want to call it like the Sonic special, but I feel like even Sonic 2006 would be disappointed with this chili dog. Because it's just a chili cheese dog. It's a Chili King dog. I don't know what makes it a king. You can find pictures of this usually on my Instagram. I don't know whether I will, just because this will make me depressed. Also, I'm just bad at uploading it. That's also on the Facebook, all Geeks and Gaijins, all the Gaijin John.
That's some meat in some bread with some onions on top.
That's not onions, that's melted cheese with some beef mince and 2 kidney beans. Sorry, 2.5.
Man, 2.5 whole kidney beans. That's
yeah,
how
in my
you know
chili.
It's good.
Like, it doesn't smell bad. It smells like a chili dog, but I suppose it is time to eat my tacky mass. Okay, this is not saying much. That's probably the best hot dog I've had in Japan. And that is a huge flaming asterisk. Japan does not do hot dogs. Does not do sausages of any form. These are, I forgot to mention, they're all beef hot dogs. They're all beef. So the actual hot dog is kind of fine. Like, it's a big hot dog. It's a big old chunky boy. It feels very IKEA sausage, but not to that level. However, the chili is rubbish. No heat. Japan can't do heat. Cheese isn't there. The bun is literally already fallen apart.
Oh dear.
And literally tastes of cardboard.
Oh.
I can see why they're getting discontinued. This feels like a thing that if someone had actually cared about it, it could have been halfway good.
That is not what fast food is for, John.
No, as in, like, if they'd actually thought of something to, like, do with this hot dog that was, like, interesting. Because the actual hot dog is not bad. Like, if you served me that, like, sausage on, like, a grill, I'd go, yeah, that's alright. It's just everything surrounding it is awful.
I mean, mediocrity surrounded by awfulness fits our MO quite nicely, I think, so...
I mean, it is cheap. It was like, what, 400 yen? So like £3, $4. Which it's about a little cheaper than a burger over here. So, yeah. To be honest, though, I feel like the meat sauce that would have been in the chips might have been alike to this chili stuff in the chili dog. And if it's anything like that, it's awful.
I don't know what I expected.
Neither did I. Well, I expected to get the thing that I wanted.
You can't have that, John. That's not how this works.
No, it's not how any of this works. I give that a long silence out of 10.
We'll now take a minute's silence for John's dreams.
We're going to need more than a minute on that one. Perhaps the whole rest of this podcast. For anyone who hasn't done it, get some French fries. Get some just microwave French fries. Get them. Get 2 pieces of white bread. Just butter them liberally. Get your chips out the oven. Pop it on. Sprinkle it with some salt. Get some vinegar as well. Bum bum bum. Bish bash bosh. Real good nosh. That's a chip butty that will do you better than anything from Burger King. If you really want meat sauce, buy some gravy granules, guys. I can't overhear, and that makes me sad. Just be a northerner. Try it for one day. It'll be alright. Some people have to go their entire lives as northerners. And also the fact I say chips, guys, for our American listeners, that also works. Get some potato chips, white bread, liberal butter, some salt, also maybe some vinegar, because you don't have salt and vinegar crisps over there, because you're weird. So add some vinegar to that, pop that on, crunch it down, so it's crunchy and nom.
Do not question what the British will put between 2 slices of white bread. We will put anything between 2 slices of white bread. It's the only food we have.
Yep.
And our main flavouring ingredient, butter.
Butter and vinegar. What if this food tasted bad?
Truly, British cuisine is the country music of food.
Marion, I'm enjoying this sandwich too much. What can I do? Well, you can put some vinegar on it, dear. Ah, perfect.
I want this food to taste as miserable as I feel.
Ah,
perfect. And scene. We use this time machine very irresponsibly.
I mean, it only goes back about like half an hour, Thomas. There's not much we can do.
Fair enough.
This is not Hermione Time Turner rules.
Were there rules? I didn't realise.
Yeah, one of those being that wizards poop on the floor. Thank you, J.K. Rowling.
Okay, J.K., go back to your hole. Go back down, girl! No!
Speaking of another British institution that should be down back in its hole, it's Great British Bake Off.
Hey!
It was Japan Week this week, and by the way, I haven't watched the series in like 3 years, so...
I've never watched the series, so I'm even more qualified to discuss
Yay.
this. John's going to tell me all about it. I'm going to learn about it with you, folks.
I'm just going to tell you specifically that Paul Hollywood, the baker and judge who's been with it since the beginning, is kind of a twit. And also generally, he just did a very ill-received Paul Hollywood in Japan series, which came out this, like, spring. And he generally started off with saying, bread and cake don't exist east of India. And, I was a bit scared, because, like, Japanese food, that's all noodles and rice, innit?
No. That's not a good start.
And within that series, he presented a pot noodle to a Michelin star ramen chef.
Huh. What exactly are his qualifications again? Just out of curiosity.
He can bake things.
Alright.
He was also surprised to find a scone in the middle of Tokyo, and that Japanese people can make sandwiches. And it's just a weird fetishization of Japan that's just like, in Japan, they can make scones. I'm like, yeah. They can follow a recipe, no shit.
Did this man do any research before he left the country?
No. Well, probably not.
Oh dear.
The only good things about the series are like the actual Japanese people who are just messing with him throughout it. It's great. But he's just like, well, I'm so amazed. I had a ham and cheese sandwich when the camera crew weren't filming. It was the best ham and cheese sandwich I've ever had. It's just like, what are you talking about?
Oh boy, can't wait to go over to Japan and have a ham and cheese sandwich.
It's just like...
That's what I'm there for.
And it's just like, in Japan, everyone's just trying to be the best. Yes, but also...
Yeah, it's toxic work culture. That's not a good thing.
They're not trying to be the richest, they're not trying to be the most famous. Still not great, but also, please also don't insult the guy who takes 10 hours to create a ramen broth. by making a joke and giving him a pot noodle. That's probably not the best thing to do. Nor acknowledge that Japanese people can, like, have a very strong baking culture that is highly mixed with Portuguese and French baking culture.
Ah, man, we don't care about the French here, John. They don't exist, apart from when we need someone to blame.
Yeah, so, the actual Japan Week itself. For those who don't know, Great British Bake Off of the Great British Baking Show, these are a group of amateur bakers that are set to bake a thing, and the worst baker gets sent home every week. It's X Factor for baking. Every week there are 3 bakes. First one is the signature bake, then there's the technical challenge, and then there's the showstopper challenge. So we'll go through them challenge by challenge and what was wrong and why this is even happening. So first of all,
oh boy,
it's Japan Week. Woo! So first of all, the signature challenge. So, you know the things you can bake? Well, we're not going to bake things. We're going to steam things. Woo!
the Great British Steam Off.
Yeah. And they're gonna steam buns, or nikuman, which are steamed meat buns.
Ah, classic.
Yes. A classic Chinese food. Now, nikuman are popular in Japan. Like, you can get them in almost every convenience store. And you can fill them with Japanese ingredients. They did not address any of this. And, like...
Oh.
Yeah. So it started off badly, and then fillings include turmeric, Thai ingredients, Chinese stir fry. Someone made their buns look like pandas. Once again, they're not Japanese.
Did somebody miss the memo? Did everyone just go, it's all the same over there?
Yeah, this is kind of the thing. Also, people made cheeseburger nikumans, which is, like, fine.
A fascinating concept.
It's an interesting idea. It would be more interesting if they were actually Japanese. Like, if the food themselves were Japanese.
Oh dear.
So there was one baker who did make the pandas, did actually talk about the mixture between French and Japanese baking. So maybe. The thing is, if you want to do something steamed that is traditionally Japanese, that's really easy to do. You make something called mushi pan, which is literally steamed cake or steamed bread. They're little steamed cakes. They're like, you can do them in whatever flavour you want. It's a perfect thing for starting for a TV show if you want to do something steamed. Instead, they made Chinese-style pork buns.
Oh no, that... Ooh, that's, I think that's what the kids call not a good look.
Filled with cheeseburgers, Indian, and Chinese flavourings.
Okay, well, that doesn't inspire confidence, but I'm sure it got better.
We've got 2 more to go, guys.
Hey.
I am bringing out, like, an alternate for each of these. So first of all, alternate, we just do mushy pan instead of the bao buns. If you've seen the Pixar short, like Bao, those are these buns. And it's just...
That was a weird one. God.
I mean, it is really weird, but also this is just the thing of like, oh yeah, Asia, it's all the same, innit? So next one, the signature challenge. What is a kind of, like, iconic piece of Japanese baking? Can you think of, like, anything I've eaten over the last year?
I vaguely remember the Christmas cake, like strawberry cake's very popular.
Yeah, so strawberry cake. If it's a technical challenge, maybe something weird or strange, something they've not made before. Maybe they have to make mochi. Maybe they have to make dorayaki, which is sweet bean between 2 layers of, like, quite fluffy castella cake, which is a really interesting cake, not usually used. Is it melon pan, something that's quite difficult to get right? Is it, like, a biscuity base on top of, like, a properly, like, made sweet bun? Is it, heck, it's a crepe cake?
I mean, crepes are popular in Japan.
So is the Avengers.
Oh my god, crepes! Crepes!
Japan does love crepes.
What?
Japan loves crepes. You can get crepes everywhere in Japan. And you can get crepe cakes everywhere in Japan. This is where I actually talked to a Japanese person about it. I was like, I kind of see these as kind of Japanese because I'm like, yeah, I live here and they don't really have them elsewhere, like the specific cakes and stuff. And like, do Japanese people see them as Japanese? And she was just like, no. Why would you think that? They're crepes. It's literally a French word.
It's like us claiming tandoori as a staple of British cuisine.
Good point. Though they made it somehow more Japanese by covering everything in matcha powder. 'Cause matcha. Matcha, that's a So they have one Japanese flavour, which is matcha. They've just gone, you know what? Crepe cake with matcha powder. Like, it's not even matcha. It's not even matcha flavoured. And it's just a recipe made by Prue Leaf. Matcha is cool. Matcha is really interesting. And basically they focused on people going like, oh, is this delicious? Oh, I think this tastes bad. Oh, this isn't the kind of thing I'd usually drink. And you're like, yes, it's matcha. It's not like... You can do loads of interesting things with matcha. Nope. Let's put it...
Stick on ice cream.
Stick it in some ice cream. Stick it with sesame. Stick it with some red bean. Do stuff with it. No. You just have to make 11 layers of crepes and then cover it in matcha powder.
Okay, so there's a slim chance that this third one's going to save it.
Okay.
How bad could it possibly be?
Did the alternates for that. That was like, do melon pan, do dorayaki, do something weird. Make them use rice flour. Japan is big on using rice flour. Maybe so the next one's the showstopper. Maybe they have to do a rice flour cake. Maybe they have to make something not using an oven. Not many Japanese households have ovens. Big bakeries do. So classic Japanese like bake stuff is made in an oven. But maybe they want to go for a more homey feel for the showstopper. No, you need to make a kawaii cake.
Is that it?
Yep, it's a kawaii cake.
It's a kawaii cake.
Yes, though you can't tell that by a lot of the people mispronouncing it, because especially with a British accent, kawaii very easily becomes the word kawaii or kawaii.
Kawaii.
Kawaii is scary in Japanese. Apparently they did not have a pronunciation coach just on set or anyone who spoke Japanese.
Well, I think it's clear that they really weren't going for the authentic angle with this particular episode. It sounds to me like one of the writers for the show just watches anime in their spare time and thought, you know what, we're out of ideas. I'm sure we can do something with this.
Okay, so here...
For an episode.
Here, some of the bakers did do really well. One of them made castella cake. People are using matcha, yuzu, Japanese whiskey. Like, yeah, that's cool. These are some of the showstoppers. We have a pineapple upside down cake, which is kind of cool, but also, how is this Japanese? Like, if you just put... It's really cool, because it's, like, upside down. Like, it's a face upside down on, like, a stalk covered in fondant. But once again...
I mean, they got the Iwu anime eyes right down. They got that perfect.
Not Japanese. Then there was a smiley mushroom, so...
That is definitely the kawaii. That's horrifying.
Then there were...
That thing's seen death.
Then one of them made a shuttlecock mascot. Like, I feel like the Japanese would be on board with, but also,
yeah,
who thought of this? Like, seriously.
But why though?
One person made an avocado, like a cute avocado, which was apparently inedible, and they were forced to leave. Someone apparently went for the kawaii, or the scary, and just put a cherry blossom tree with a geisha attached.
Huh. That's... Maybe this was a mistake. Maybe this shouldn't have happened.
Was there no intern who'd be like, guys, should we maybe ask a Japanese person?
Like, they have to have, like, a PR team for this show. That none of them, either they didn't put in the effort or management refused to listen to them going, maybe this is a bad idea. Maybe we should just, sit on this for a little while, do some more research, and make sure we don't do anything really stupid.
I asked my friend about the kawaii cakes, and they're like, yeah, well, Japanese people like kawaii things, but, like, I'm not sure how these cakes are Japanese. Cool. Yeah. And it's like...
It is entirely surface level. It is a British person's understanding of Japanese culture. Perfectly encapsulated.
Which then just becomes like Asia as a whole somehow.
Apparently so, for the starters, yeah.
Just like... And then also French. Because crepe.
Like I said, the French don't exist unless we can blame them, so they become part of Japanese culture, apparently.
Do you know what this was actually really missing to, like, explain all their faux pas?
A Japanese person.
A Japanese person, but also the history section that they got rid of when they moved to Channel 4. So in the first few series of Great British Bake Off, they would usually have, like, a 15-minute history section where they explained the history of either the technical bake or behind something, and it would usually be like the hosts talking with an expert about it. So specifically talking about something like Nikuman and going like, this is originally a Chinese thing, but it's popular in Japan and loads of places have local twists on it. You'd be like, and also these crepes, talking about how French food and baking is really popular in Japan and how that style evolved. Then talking about kawaii culture, but none of this gets talked about. None of it. At all. If you do something like this, you have to put it in context. And they just don't. It's like, you can argue for, like, the things they were saying, but there's just so much wrong. So this is obviously not just me. There were 15 complaints about the show to Ofcom, which is, like, the place you report TV shows in the UK.
I'm going to point out that 15 is a very small number of complaints.
Yeah, but even, like, the UK, like, something gets to the news when it gets like 200 complaints. Not many people actually complain. 5 of those were specifically about a racist theme. People got annoyed that it was generalized Asian Food Week.
You know you can't get away with Asian Food Week because that's so... Even they must know that's too broad a topic.
Yeah.
So they just went for Japan and then didn't do anything with the topic in particular.
Yeah. So
God,
this was also the 100th episode of Bake Off.
There had to be a better anniversary special than that. Oh my god.
Obviously, it's not just me complaining about this. Lots of people put out their stuff on Twitter. Naoko Mori, who is a Japanese actress who works mostly in the UK, she's been on Torchwood and Ab Fab and stuff like that.
Other staples of British culture.
Exactly. It takes a lot to annoy Japanese people. Yeah, this...
Now who's generalising?
This is just really disappointing. It's just really, really bad.
Need a little longer in the oven, you could say.
It's just the thing is, like, it takes so little to make this right. Like, just pronounce the words right. Have one Japanese person involved. One.
It just seems like they completely managed to miss their own point. It was...
They made a target. They created a target and somehow missed it totally.
You ever see the guy go, hey, watch me do this flip, and then just faceplant in the ground?
It was just like, there was no expectations of you, and you somehow did worse.
It takes actual effort to fail this hard.
It's like, not even a Japanese person. You just need an Asian person. You need someone who has a basic knowledge of geography.
Not Hollywood, that's for sure.
Oh dear. Yeah, I don't want to continue to say bad things, but I will because it's fun. But
complaining is the primary British pastime.
But the thing is, so many people don't think about Japan when it comes to baking, and to be honest, neither did I. This is the thing. Great British Bake Off has a huge audience that it can, like, help to educate about this stuff. What it chooses to do is something that's Chinese, something that's French with one Japanese ingredient, and then something cultural that is so stereotyped that is insane.
For a lot of people watching that television episode, that's probably the most exposure they could potentially have had to Japanese culture in quite some time. We don't have an awful lot of Japanese culture in the UK.
Yeah.
We'll have some sushi restaurants and that's about it. So
Yeah.
some people seeing this and going, "Ah, that's what Japan's all about," is just ridiculously misleading.
Yeah, one of the comments on Twitter just saying, "My mum thinks kawaii is a type of cake, and nothing I am saying is convincing her otherwise."
That does sound like Britain to me. Oh my god, that's fantastic. It's also terrible, but it's...
Food has such an interesting way to talk about culture and, like, the crossover and the mix between cultures. Like, one great example is ramen. Like, we in the UK think of Japan as somewhere to do with ramen. However, in Japan, a lot of ramen is seen as Chinese food, because ramen's originally from China. But it was a Japanese man who created what we now know as the kind of packet ramen that's so famous. And that's such an interesting mix of cultures that then leads to us, like, leads to what we're eating today. The basis of Japanese baking history, going back to what would last longest on French and Portuguese, like, sailing ships. But no, I've said it before. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. I hope you're having a better week than me, guys.
If this somehow has improved your day against all odds, that's really good. Thank you very much for listening.
Yay! You can find us hopefully in a better mood on Facebook, Twitter, where we are Geeks and Gaijins on everything. On all podcast places, we are Geeks and Gaijins, Geeks and the Sand Gaijins. If you want to find us somewhere else and we're not there, please email us at geeksandgaijins@gmail.com. That is "and" with a word in it. And also, you can find me the Instagram, the Gaijin John, and Twitter, Gaijin John, for general pictures and stupid stuff. You can also find us on Twitch, Geeks and Gaijins, which, when we have time, when the world's not exploding, we play dumb video games there.
Nothing more than thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a good week. Stay safe out there.
Woo. This is rather awkward recording this before Tuesday.